Hello, my name is Paul McCormick and I have an animal for you. You might have seen me before at the library because I've been there many times for summer reading programs and also sometimes things like Halloween and maybe some other events because I love animals and I take them to schools and libraries. And today I'm at the library, although you can't tell that because there are no books behind me. But there's an animal in front of me, and I don't know if you've met her. Her name is Slither, and she's an albino, all white, king snake. And when people say albino animal, they're usually white with pink eyes, but with snakes and lizards, if they're an albino, they have a little bit of light colors. You might have seen corn snakes, albino corn snakes. They're white with orange blotches on them. Well, this is a white king snake, and ordinarily she'd be black with white lines. If you really look, you might see she has yellow lines. And if you have enough imagination, you can see it better with the black one with white lines. It would almost look like a chain link fence, all crisscross. And because of that, she's called a chain king snake. If she was loose in the woods in South Carolina and North Carolina where they live, she probably couldn't live because she's not protected, she's not camouflaged. And an owl would find her, or a weasel or a fox, who knows. But since she lives at my house, she doesn't have to worry about being hurt by anything. She's pretty long, and she is a constricting snake. There are 3 different kinds of ways that snakes catch their food. Some snakes have what they call venom. It's kind of like poison, but poison is something like a poison berry. Venom has to be eaten. You might lick, you wouldn't do it. You might lick a poison frog, a poison dart frog. Ugh, poison. But what snakes have that hurts things sometimes is venom. And it has to be stuck into the skin. And that's why venomous snakes, like rattlesnakes, have fangs. So, 3 ways that snakes catch their food. Venom is one. Number 2 is some snakes, like garter snakes and blue racers, they simply catch their food and eat it. Kind of gross. But then they eat many things like worms and frogs, and doesn't have to do a lot of, doesn't even have to kill the food first, just eats it. And then most snakes, like Slither here, are constricting snakes. She catches a mouse, she catches a rat outside, it might be a chipmunk. She wraps around its body and doesn't suffocate it, doesn't strangle it, or I should say, does so. But holds onto it so tight, it doesn't go around the neck. Have you seen a mouse's neck? It's that big. She'll wrap around an animal's chest and hold on so tight that it can't breathe. And when the rat or the mouse goes, and the air goes out, she goes a little tighter. And it can't inhale and it can't breathe. And when it's dead and can't hurt her, then she eats it. Gobble, gobble. She finds them by seeing them with her eyes, but they don't see very well. If it doesn't move, they look and they look. And no, that's a branch, that's a tree, that's a rock. So they can't see very well, but if something moves, what is that? Is that something to eat? And then they come closer and they stick their tongue out because snakes smell with their tongue. you and I smell with our nose, they stick with their tongue. And we have two nostrils. If I smell something good over there, I get the smell on this side. If it's over that way, it's on this side. I have two nostrils. I can tell where that smell is coming from. Snakes have a forked tongue. It's divided. And it's the same as our nostrils. If the mouse is that way, she smells it with this fork. And she goes, ah, that's the cool. So that's why snakes have forked tongues. I've had kids say, oh yeah, they smell with their tongue because they don't have a nose. But they do have nostrils, and you can see there are two little tiny holes in the front. And with most snakes, when they're dark in color, you can't see them. So kids say, oh, they don't have a nose. Yes, they do. And you can see her nostrils. Why does she have them? Not to smell with, but to, why do you have nostrils? Close your mouth and breathe. She can breathe with her mouth shut, and so can we. So they have no arms, but they do have a heart and lung and stomach and bones, just like we do. And she has a pair of ribs for every scale that goes across her tummy. So she can shove down with those ribs, and it's almost like walking on her ribs. So she can kind of, and that's what they call crawling along. And she slithers. So her name is Slither. We don't have king snakes here. Oh, by the way, she's called a king snake because not only would she eat a mouse or a rat, she would eat another snake, including a rattlesnake. And when a rattlesnake bites her, she says, ouch! And then she bites him anyway and eats him, because she does not get sick. She's immune to snake venom. Wow. Sorry we don't have king snakes living here, but we don't. So I'm glad you're able to join me today. If you want to know more about king snakes or anything in the world, the county library, the Lenawee District Library is the place to go. They're back to normal hours, and so are all of the branches throughout the county. So by all means, get down there and keep reading.